All right, buckle up, everybody, because today
Oh, yeah.
we are diving deep into a movie that's been generating a ton of buzz. Captain America, Brave New World. The anticipation for this one has been building for what feels like forever, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Feels like everyone's been waiting for this one, holding their breath.
And for good reason. I mean, it's not every day we get a new Captain America movie, especially one picking up where Endgame left off.
Right.
But we're not here to spoil anything. Instead, we're going to unpack some of those early reviews.
Okay.
See if they live up to the hype so you know what to expect when you finally see it.
Sounds good.
But gotta be honest with you, some of these reviews,
Yeah.
a little more mixed than I expected.
Really?
Not exactly the glowing praise as I was hoping for.
Yeah, it's true. A few critics seem to be a little hesitant on this one.
Yeah, like they're trying to find the right words without,
Yeah.
crushing our superhero-loving hearts.
Right.
But one thing they all seem to agree on, Anthony Mackie
Yeah.
absolutely nails it as Captain America. What is it about his performance
Well,
that's winning everyone over?
Mackie just brings a really interesting new dynamic to the role. He's got this charisma and intensity that we've seen glimpses of in his past roles.
Yeah.
But here in this movie, it's just on full display. He's not just wearing the shield, he's embodying that weight,
Right.
that responsibility of being Captain America.
Yeah,
You can tell he's putting his own spin on the character, but while still honoring the legacy.
that's what I'm hoping for. A Captain America who feels both familiar,
Right.
but also refreshingly new.
Exactly.
Speaking of new, this movie seems to be throwing a whole bunch of villains at the wall, and
Oh, yeah.
not sure how I feel about it.
Okay.
We got Red Hulk, leader Samuel Stearns. It's a lot to juggle.
It is.
I'm all for a good superhero showdown.
Sure.
But are we in danger of, villain overload here? Can a movie really give each of these characters the space they need
Right.
to shine without it feeling overstuffed?
That's a valid concern. It's a delicate balance, right? You want that story to feel epic and action-packed, but you also don't want to sacrifice character development
Of course.
or a coherent plot. And one of the criticisms I've seen is that it feels a bit convoluted, almost like it's trying to cram too much into its runtime.
See, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
A movie with too many villains can end up feeling more like a checklist
right.
than a compelling story.
Sure.
And the reviewers, they seem to be echoing that. Some even say it's difficult to really care about the conflicts and alliances because there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
Is this something we're seeing more of in superhero movies these days? Have they just gotten too big for their own good?
It's an interesting question, and one I think a lot of moviegoers are wrestling with these days. As these superhero universes expand,
Right.
it becomes more and more challenging to balance these big, interconnected storylines
Yeah.
with the individual journeys of the characters.
Right.
Sometimes it feels like the characters are serving the plot
Yeah.
instead of the other way around.
And that can definitely take you out of the experience.
Absolutely.
But hold on, because there's one element in these reviews that really caught my eye.
Okay.
Even those who criticize the plot for being convoluted also said there's a really compelling political thriller woven into the story. Wait, what? How do those two things
Yeah.
even coexist? It seems almost contradictory.
It definitely piques your curiosity, doesn't it? And it just speaks to the potential complexity of this movie. We know the title Brave New World is a nod to Aldous Huxley's dystopian novel, which suggests themes of social control,
Okay.
dangers of unchecked power. So perhaps beneath the superhero spectacle, there's a deeper story unfolding,
Right.
one that grapples with some really relevant
Yeah.
and thought-provoking issues.
Intriguing.
Yeah, seems like they're trying to make a statement about the world we live in, even while delivering those classic superhero thrills.
Like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so intriguing.
Right.
I'm almost more interested in this political thriller element than the superhero stuff now.
Oh, wow.
Is there anything in the reviews that hints at what this political layer
Well,
might involve?
there's a lot of talk about international relations playing a key role.
Okay.
The reviewers mention tension between the U.S. and other global powers.
Interesting.
Some even suggest that Captain America might find himself caught in the middle of a diplomatic crisis.
Wow.
It seems like the movie is exploring the idea of what it means to be a symbol of hope and freedom in a world that's becoming, increasingly fractured and uncertain.
Okay, now that's something I can get behind.
Yeah.
I've always loved superhero movies that tackle real-world issues.
Right.
Even if it's just in a metaphorical way,
Sure.
it adds a whole other layer of depth
Absolutely.
to the story.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, I'm still a bit hung up on this too many villains thing.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you even stage a fight scene with that many characters
Right.
without it turning into a complete mess.
Well, some reviewers pointed out that the action scenes, while visually impressive, might lack focus because there are so many players involved.
Yeah.
They said it's hard to get a sense of the stakes when you've got, multiple superpowered beings
Right.
duking it out at the same time.
That makes sense. It's like trying to follow a dozen tennis balls at once.
Yeah,
You're bound to lose track of a few.
exactly.
But maybe that's part of the point. Maybe the chaos of the action is meant to reflect the chaos of the political landscape.
That's an interesting thought.
I'm reaching here, but,
Sure.
I'm trying to find the silver lining.
It's an interesting interpretation. It could be that the filmmakers are intentionally using the superhero genre
Yeah.
to comment on the complexities of our world. It's not just about good versus evil anymore.
Okay.
It's about navigating the gray areas,
Okay.
the shifting alliances, the unintended consequences.
Okay, now you're blowing my mind.
Oh, wow.
I went from worrying about too many villains to suddenly seeing the whole movie in a new light.
Wow.
This is why I love these deep dives. We get to unpack these ideas
Right.
and see things from different angles.
Absolutely.
But speaking of unpacking, there's one detail that I'm dying to know more about.
Okay.
Captain America's new suit. The reviewers described it as a hybrid of different superhero tech.
Oh, yeah?
Like a mashup of Ant-Man, Falcon, Black Panther, even a bit of the classic Captain America thrown in for good measure.
Wow, that's a lot.
It sounds like a superhero fashion show gone wild.
It seems like they've gone all out with the design.
Yeah.
And the reviews suggest that the suit plays a significant role in the story.
Really?
Not just in terms of functionality, but also symbolism.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So it's not just a cool costume, it's a reflection of Captain America's journey.
Right.
Maybe even a commentary on the evolution of the superhero.
It could be.
Give me all the details. What kind of crazy gadgets does this thing have?
Well, they're keeping most of the specifics under wraps for now.
Come on.
But they did mention elements of size manipulation, energy absorption, and enhanced agility.
Cool.
Sounds like a very versatile suit,
Wow.
capable of adapting to different situations.
Like they took all the best parts of other superhero suits,
Right.
combined them into one ultimate package.
It seems that way.
But here's what I don't get.
Yeah.
The reviewers also said that Captain America himself doesn't actually have any superpowers in this movie.
What?
Wait, what? So he's got this super suit,
Right.
but no super strength, speed, or anything.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
That's the big question, and one that the reviewers seem to be struggling with as well.
Yeah.
Some speculate that the suit itself provides some level of enhancement,
Okay.
while others suggest that Captain America is relying more on his strategic skills,
Right.
tactical expertise.
So like his mind.
Exactly. Maybe this is a way for the filmmakers to explore a different kind of heroism, one that's less about brute force
Okay.
and more about intelligence and resilience.
It's a fascinating concept.
It is.
Like, can you still be a superhero without superhuman abilities?
Right.
Does the suit make the man, or does the man make the suit?
It's a good question.
I'm starting to think this movie is less about the action
Yeah.
and more about exploring these bigger questions about what it truly means to be a hero.
And maybe that's the point. Maybe the filmmakers are trying to subvert our expectations,
Ugh.
challenge our assumptions about the superhero genre. It's not just about spectacle anymore, it's about substance.
Okay, I'm officially on board with this whole super suit, no superpowers thing.
All right.
Adds a layer of intrigue and complexity that I didn't see coming.
It's definitely different.
But at the end of the day, the question remains,
Yeah.
is this movie actually any good?
Right.
The reviews seem to be all over the place.
Yeah, they are.
So I'm turning to you for some expert guidance.
Okay.
Should we be rushing out to the theaters opening night? Or are we better off waiting for it to hit streaming?
I think the safe bet is cautious optimism.
Okay.
There are elements that sound incredibly promising. Mackie's performance, the political themes, the intriguing concept of the suit.
Right.
But there are also valid concerns about the pacing,
Yeah.
the number of characters, and whether they can successfully juggle all these different elements without sacrificing coherence.
Right.
Ultimately, it'll depend on your personal preferences.
Okay.
If you're a diehard MCU fan, you'll probably find plenty to enjoy.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a tightly plotted, character-driven story, you might be left wanting more.
So maybe go in with an open mind,
Yeah.
but tempered expectations.
Exactly. Go in expecting a spectacle, but be prepared for a potentially bumpy ride.
Tempered expectations it is. I can handle that.
Okay.
Still excited to see it, but I'll try to keep my hype in check.
Right.
But before we let everyone go, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
The idea that this movie might be a sign of things to come for the MCU. Do you think that's true? Is Brave New World hinting at a shift in direction for the whole superhero genre?
It's hard to say for sure, but there are definitely signs that the superhero landscape is changing. We're seeing more experimentation with different genres and tones.
Right.
More willingness to explore complex themes.
Right.
And maybe even a move away from the traditional superhero formula.
Interesting.
Brave New World, with its blend of political thriller and superhero spectacle,
Right.
could be a harbinger of that change.
It feels like we're at a crossroads, doesn't it?
Yeah.
After the massive success of the Infinity Saga.
Right.
Where do you even go from there?
That's the question.
Do you keep building on the existing universe, or do you try something completely different?
And audiences are changing too. We're more savvy, more critical, more demanding. We've seen it all.
Right.
We're hungry for something new.
Yeah.
Something that challenges us, something that makes us think.
And that's why I'm actually kind of excited about the prospect of a Captain America who relies more on his brains and skills
Yeah.
rather than superpowers. It's a fresh take on the character.
It is.
And it opens up a whole new set of possibilities for storytelling.
Right.
Maybe this is the evolution the MCU needs to stay relevant and engaging.
It could be a way to ground the stories,
Yeah.
make them more relatable,
Yeah.
more human. After all, we all face challenges that don't require superpowers to overcome.
Exactly. And maybe that's the takeaway from all of this.
Okay.
Whether Brave New World lives up to the hype or not,
Right.
it's sparking these important conversations about the future of superhero movies.
Yeah.
It's pushing the boundaries, experimenting with new ideas, and maybe even setting the stage for a whole new era of superhero storytelling.
And that's what's so exciting about this moment in cinema.
Yeah.
We're witnessing a genre in transition.
Right.
And it's anyone's guess where it's headed next.
So to our listeners out there, we've given you the intel, we've unpacked the reviews. Now it's your turn to dive into the world of Brave New World. Go see the movie, form your own opinions,
Yeah.
then come back and tell us all about it. Did it live up to your expectations? Were you blown away by Mackie's performance? Did you find yourself pondering the political landscape after watching a guy in a supersuit outsmart a room full of supervillains?
We want to hear your thoughts.
Because ultimately, that's what matters most, your experience, your interpretation.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe we'll even do a follow-up deep dive once everyone's had a chance to see the movie
Right.
and process all the twists and turns.
We love to hear those theories.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the worlds that fascinate you. See you next time on The Deep Dive.